Bad news for California drivers. Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrat politicians want to charge you a new mileage tax. That's right. Charge for every mile that you drive. And it's going to add up to thousands of dollars per year per driver. Coming up, I'll tell you how we're organizing the fight to block the unfair and costly California mileage tax. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state representative representing District 75 in the California State Assembly. Have you heard? Assembly Bill 1421 has been introduced, and it's backed by the Democrats up in Sacramento. Governor Gavin Newsom and California Democrat politicians, they already charged the highest gas tax in the nation, the highest car tax in the nation. Our gas prices are about $2 more per gallon than the rest of the country. So it's very expensive already for a driver to drive their car. But now they want even more of your money. It comes in the form of what they call the mileage tax, or as they like to call it, the road usage charge. A road usage charge, RUC, R-U-C. It's a mileage tax. And what they're doing is they're claiming that it is needed to, are you ready for this? You haven't heard this one before, right? It's needed to fix the roads. Oh, that's right. Isn't that where the gas tax is supposed to be going? Yeah, we're not dumb. Look, it's Assembly Bill 1421. I'm opposed to it. I'm leading the opposition to kill the bill. But more importantly than that, localities are looking at doing a mileage tax. So we're organizing a statewide campaign to block it. I'm going to get into the details in just a minute. I'm going to walk you through how much it's going to cost you, the typical driver. But I want you to be part of the fight. We need you desperately right now. So go to the website, stopthemileagetax.com. Stopthemileagetax.com. It will take you to our petition site. We need to collect petitions and present them to the assembly. We're doing it by assembly districts, so each politician knows just how many people they've ticked off in their own district, and they might face the ire of the voters in this upcoming election. Go to stopthemileagetax.com and put in your first name, last name, email, phone, and zip code. Put your name on the official petition opposed to the California mileage tax. Again, we have a two-step process for defeating this proposal. Number one, we have to kill Assembly Bill 1421, which is the legislation backed by Democrats to impose a mileage tax, or as they call it, a road user charge. Mileage tax is what it is. Second, we need to stop mileage taxes from being applied on the local level. Just in the last 2 years, I've been fighting in San Diego County to stop the San Diego County government from imposing a mileage tax. And they actually adopted it, and it was supposed to go into effect January 1, 2023. But we were able to do a recall against the politician locally who made the motion to impose a mileage tax. And she was thrown out of office, and we blocked the mileage tax just based upon this rebellion that drivers and taxpayers were forming. And they were going to go after any politician supporting the mileage tax, and the politicians, of course, caved. But now what they're trying to do is do it at the state level, impose it on everybody. Here is the story from CBS 8. CBS is talking about a Caltrans study that just wrapped up last week, where they had drivers, 800 drivers statewide, testing out different ways that they would do a mileage tax. So they're trying to figure out whether they keep an odometer device that tracks your mileage. Oh, I'm serious. Like, they are looking at how to actually implement this idea. They've already decided it's going to happen. So they're looking at how practically, technology-wise, logistically, do they track your mileage so they can charge you per mile that you drive. Here is the report, and then I'm going to get into what it's going to cost you, the average driver, based on their proposal.
We start tonight with new details on a new way to pay for California roads. with revenue from the gas tax.
By the way, it's a lie that we're paying for California roads with any of this. Gas tax, car tax, mileage tax. They steal the money. You're not going to see potholes filled. You're not going to see lanes added to your highways to reduce your commute and congestion. No, this is nothing more than a money grab scam.
Dwindling, Californians could be charged for every mile they drive. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Carlo Cicchetto.
I'm Marcella Lee. Caltrans is now studying a per-mile road charge applied to all drivers across the state to help fund highway maintenance that's now funded through the excise tax on fuel.
BS! Stop it with your lying liberal media narrative. They're using this to fix the roads. Back to you. Now let's talk climate change. You people are nothing but the propaganda machine. None of the money that we're paying in the gas tax and the car tax is being spent properly. It's wasted. There's a couple projects that they use as window dressing, but this money is being used for bureaucrats and transit programs and climate change. Hell, a lot of the money in the maintenance budget in Caltrans is used to clean up after homeless camps on the side of freeways.
Mileage tax would replace California's gas tax.
Nope, not going to replace California's gas tax. No proposal right now has the gas tax or the car tax being eliminated in favor of a mileage tax. This is on top of it. More lies from the liberal media.
Richard Allen has more on the pilot program that just wrapped up.
Well, that's right. Currently, about 80% of California's road and highway repairs are funded through the state's 59-cent a gallon gas tax, the highest in the nation. But with more drivers now switching to electric vehicles, the state is getting less and less funding for those repairs.
Nope, not true, not true, not true. Now they're saying, oh, we need the mileage tax because more people are buying electric vehicles. Okay, I hear that even from some Republicans saying, well, hold on, Carl, why is it that the electric vehicle people get a free ride? Look, don't impose a tax on everyone because only 20% of people who drive EVs are somehow escaping the gas tax, okay? If you want to fix that issue, we can fix that narrow issue. You don't need to apply a mileage tax on everyone. So only 20% of drivers are buying electric vehicles. By the way, that's new cars each year, 20%. Only 20%. And again, politicians have mandates to force feed electric vehicles, and the auto industry is sitting on a massive supply, a glut of supply of electric vehicles because people just don't want these vehicles. They're not buying them. The early adopters, the people who are like liberals saying, oh, I want an electric vehicle. I want to drive a Tesla. They're not saying that anymore because of Elon Musk. They hate him. They're keying the car. But now anyone who did an electric vehicle, they did it. It's done. So only 20% of new vehicles right now are electric, and they've hit their ceiling. Only about 5 to 6% of total cars on the road are electric. Okay, so we're not talking about a whole lot of cars escaping their gas tax, but more importantly, if you want to solve that issue, you can narrowcast a solution for just those people escaping the gas tax. But when people say, well, what we need to figure out how to deal with declining gas tax revenues are not declining. They've had an automatic increase in the gas tax applied every July 1st. It's on autopilot, constant increases. More importantly, we are not seeing the money go to roads. When people say, well, the EV people aren't paying for road repairs. Well, neither are you. I mean, you're paying the tax, but the politicians aren't actually putting that money into the roads. And so don't get seduced by this notion that electric vehicles have created the need for a mileage tax. No, it's not happening. It's not true.
Leading to this possible mileage tax for all drivers. And not surprisingly, not all drivers are on board.
No, not for it. Sorry, I'm a hard no on everything. I gotta save my money where I can.
Smart lady.
San Diegan Gail Hoffelina wants to put the brakes on any possible per-mile road charge for drivers, an idea the state's now exploring, as explained in this video released by Caltrans.
It's an innovative way to collect funding for roads and highways.
It's an innovative way to collect funding for roads and highways and line the pockets of politicians and their campaign contributors. Oh, did I say this the true part out loud? Look at these little promotional PR propaganda videos that they're putting together with your money, and they use cartoons and little happy music. We're gonna have you eat a sandwich, a crap sandwich.
Highways based on how many miles you drive instead of how many gallons of gas you buy, because as we move toward a zero-emission future, the gas tax won't last forever.
Oh my gosh, as we move to a zero emission future with our Green New Deal, greedy new steel, Nirvana vision, the gas tax won't last forever. So how in the hell are we going to fund our boondoggles as politicians and special interests? How are we going to fleece the taxpayer? First, again, we're not seeing this overwhelming adoption of EVs. The EV mandate's falling apart. And secondly, this has never been about fixing roads.
Caltrans just completed a pilot program to test out a road charge system, including a flat per mile fee of 2.8 cents a mile, as well as an individualized fee based on
It's not 2.8 cents per mile. Okay. I'm going to give you the bad news in just a second.
On a vehicle's fuel economy. The pilot also tested different ways of reporting mileage, including odometer readings or a special plug-in device.
The purchasing power of the fuel tax, which is the main way that we finance transportation infrastructure, has been steadily declining.
That's not true. The revenues from fuel tax have been plateaued, not steadily declining. That's not true at all.
Giving this potential new charge the green light.
A mileage tax in California is a money grab. Let's just be very clear.
Let me say I totally agree with that guy.
San Diego Assemblymember Carl DeMaio led the charge against a proposed local mileage fee a few years back and says he's just as opposed to this one, which he says could cost the average Californian $900 to $1,200 per year.
Unfortunately, a lot of working families, poorer families, have a longer commute, so they'll actually pay a higher mileage tax. It's very regressive. It's unfair.
DeMaio also says he's skeptical this mileage tax would replace the fuel tax, as the state has indicated.
That's nonsense. These people will never.
Skeptical? I'm not skeptical. I'm firmly concluding it doesn't fix the roads.
Or give up a tax. They're just going to add an additional one on.
And it would be up to the state legislature to decide whether this road charge would replace the fuel tax. Also, the results of Caltrans' pilot program should be released.
They're going to release their pilot project and say, it's wonderful. Yes, we can totally do this. Now, how much is it going to cost? Now, the average driver drives 15,000 miles a year. That's for one car, one driver, 15,000. You may drive more or less, but the average in California is 15,000. As I mentioned, people who are on the lower end of the income spectrum, people earning less, drive longer because they can't afford housing near the job centers, so their commutes are typically longer. So 15,000 times 9 cents per mile is what they're looking at, not 2.8. I don't know where they are proposing the 2.8. Oh, they might say, we're going to start out with a 6 cents or 5 cents. Nope, 9 cents is what they're all costing it out as. 9 cents per mile. That's $1,350 per driver per year, average mileage. In order to pay your $1,350 in mileage tax, you must now earn $1,800, $1,900 in earnings because you have an income tax that you have to pay, payroll tax, et cetera, Social Security, Medicare, the Medicare tax. So that you're talking about almost $2,000 to just drive on a mileage tax. All in with the gas tax and the car tax, most car taxes are about $500, $400 per car. You've got the gas tax coming in at about $2,500 per driver per year. Again, we're talking about the entirety of the gas tax that's being applied to Californians, not just the state excise tax, which is about 60 cents and on autopilot, but the sales tax on top of that, and then the cap and trade tax that's added to all of your gallons of gas. I'm not even getting into the regulatory burden, but we're talking about $1.43 per gallon in state taxes and fees. All of that adds up to about $4,500 per driver per year if you implement this extra mileage tax. It's insane. It's a money grab. It's not going to fix the roads. These people don't even like cars. They don't even want to have roads. They keep doing these stupid road diets. They want us on government-run transportation. They want us sitting in the bus at the transit stop. That's where the money goes. That's where they're diverting the gas tax revenues. Look, I'm a hard no on mileage tax, and I want you to go to that website, stopthemileagetax.com, sign the petition, stopthemileagetax.com. Our plan is twofold. Number one, as I mentioned, to the reporter there in that CBS news package, the Democrats are going to try to impose the mileage tax like they did the gas tax in 2017 by a simple 2/3 vote of politicians in the state legislature, which the Constitution currently allows them to do that. I have the California Taxpayer Protection Initiative that would ban the legislature from imposing a mileage tax without a vote of the people. We need to collect signatures to put that on the ballot in 2026 or a future election. But secondly, we're using this issue as a wedge issue to defeat Democrats in the state assembly and the state Senate in the 2026 election. We want to spook them, cause them to back down from imposing the mileage tax, just like we did in San Diego. We saw them adopt a mileage tax, then we did a recall, then they backed down after they saw that voters were organizing, rebelling against the mileage tax. The same thing's going to happen statewide. This is wildly unpopular. I did a poll last year. 70% of Californians are opposed to the creation of a new state mileage tax. So the voters are on our side, but we've got to organize an effective campaign. I can't do that alone. Go to the website, stopthemileagetax.com, sign the petition, share it with all your friends and family. While you're at Reform California, please consider chipping in a contribution. Literally put gas in our tank to stop the mileage tax in the 2026 election, either through the initiative process and or by defeating the Democrats who are backing this proposal, breaking their 2/3 supermajority vote in the state assembly, in the state Senate, so that we can protect all Californians against the politicians just imposing a tax on us. Look, I will lead the fight, but I need your help. Go to reformcalifornia.org and sign up. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state. Reform California with Carl DeMaio is paid for by Carl DeMaio for State Assembly.